Good morning, students. Once again, I welcome you all on my YouTube channel. Today, we are going to study the fifth poem of the first flight. The name of the poem is the Ball Poem. The Ball Poem is written by American poet John Berryman. The Ball Poem is about a harsh realities of life, and it is also about how to learn to be cope with the loss of the materialistic things and to stand up against the miseries and sorrows of life. Now, let me give you a brief introduction about John Berryman. John Berryman, who was born in October 25th, 1914 till 1972, was an American poet in the second half of the 1900s. He was seen as one of the chief poets of confessional poetry. Berryman wrote about shame like mental illness and lust. He said that he was not writing about himself but about made up people. John Berryman was best known for Dream Songs, which was a sequence of 385 poems. John Berryman he also won Pulitzer Prize for his Dream Song and he also won National Book Award. Now let me give you brief summary of the poem. So through the ball poem, John Berryman has in his poem told us about a little boy who had in his childhood experienced the feeling of loss when his ball rolls away from him and falls into the water of the sea at the harbor. The boy sees his ball disappearing. It was the first thing that he really loved. With the sense of loss, he experiences grief. To people, the loss of a ball is a minor problem, but any other ball cannot replace what love the boy had for his belonging. The poet wants people to let the boy learn to handle his own loss. Money is not important as it cannot bring back the same thing that the boy loved. In the same, the ball represents the childhood of the boy and his loved, filled innocent doll. The loss of the ball is the loss of childhood. The poem also hints at losses being part of one's life, losses being part of one's life. The poet is pained by the grief that the boy experiences, but he knows that growing up is an unavoidable process and it is necessary to learn to be strong and go on with one's life no matter how much hurt the loss is caused. Now, I will give line to line explanation. What is the boy now who has lost his ball? So, the poet John Borryman, he has seen one boy who was playing with the ball. What is the boy now who has lost his ball? So, the boy, a little boy, was playing with his ball by the side of a harbor. So, he threw his ball too high and it went bouncing down the street. The boy ran after it, but it fell into the water and floated away from him. So, in the first line, the poet he talks about a one little boy who has lost his ball. So, he was quite happy playing with the ball, but suddenly the ball fell off into the water, fell from his hands, and it went into the water. So the poet here he asked question to himself that what is the boy now? The poet he is keen to know what will be the reaction of the boy. The poet just he wants to see what the boy is going to do. What will be the reaction of the boy after losing the boy? So here in the first line, the poet talks about a little boy who was playing with the ball, who was quite happy, but he threw the ball higher and it went bouncing down the street and it fell into the water. So the poet he just wanted to know what will be the reaction of the boy who has lost his ball. What? What is it do? The poet once again he's he just wants to see what the boy is going to do after he has lost his ball. I saw it go merrily bouncing down the street and then merrily over. There it is in the water. The poet he was present there when the ball went into the water. So the poet he had seen with his own eyes that how the ball had gone merrily. Merrily means happily. Bouncing means jumping down, jumping up and down the street, and then merrily over. There it is in the water. So the poet he was present there and he had seen with his own eyes that how the boy who was playing with the ball. So, how the ball had gone merrily, happily, jumping up and down the street, and then there it is in the water. So, the ball had gone into the water. No use to say, oh, there are other balls. The poet he wanted to console the boy who has lost his ball by saying that he should not feel grieved at the loss of the ball because he would find another ball. He would have another ball. So the poet he feels that it is meaningless, it is useless to say to the boy that there are other balls. Why? Because the boy has had the ball for a long time since his childhood and the ball is linked with the memories of days when he played with it. So that's why the poet feels that as lots of memories are attached with the ball, so it is useless to console the boy by saying that there are other balls, that he would find other balls to play. Why? Because the boy is very much attached with the balls. So many memories of his childhood days were attached with the ball that the boy feels very grieved. The boy feels very sad. So when the boy lost the ball, he plunged in grief. An ultimate shaking grief fixes the boy. So the boy, an ultimate final shaking means trembling, grief means sorrow. So when the boy lost the ball, he plunged in grief. The ultimate, he stood staring down the harbor while his ball was lost. The boy was affected profoundly, very deeply, by the loss of his ball because it had been with him for a long time. As I said, it was linked with the memories of the days when he played with. So, an ultimate, final, the boy he started trembling with grief and he fixes the boy. So the boy was standing firm and he was deeply troubled, deeply grieved at the loss of the ball, and he starts trembling because it is the first time the boy he learned what is the meaning of the loss. So the boy was trembling with grief, with sorrow. So he just he stood firm as he stands rigid, trembling, staring down. So the boy, after losing the ball, he stood rigid, firm, trembling. The boy was shaking with fear. The boy was shaking with grief, and he was staring down all his young days into the harbor. So the boy has had the ball for a long time, and as I say, it is linked with the memories of days when he played with it. So one can say that it is not merely a boy, it is not only a one materialistic thing. One can say that the ball represent his childhood, and now that his ball has bounced and floated away in the water, he experiences a grievous loss. It is not only a loss of ball, but also it is a loss of even his childhood, which has drifted away into the sea of life. So the poet here, he talks about, he symbolize the ball with childhood. The ball after losing his ball, when the boy had seen how his ball had drifted away into the water of the pot. Harbor means pot. He stood there firmly, trembling, shaking with fear, with grief, and he was staring down all his young days into the harbor where his ball went. So for the boy, his ball has not gone into the water. For the boy, his childhood has drifted into the sea of life, because lots of memories of his childhood days attached with the ball. So here the ball symbolize the childhood of the boy. I would not intrude on him a dime, another ball is worthless. The poet, at one point of time, he would like to go with the boy and to console him. Intrude here means to enter a situation where one is not welcome. The poet, he felt that it is worthless, it is useless to go to the boy and to offer him dime. So the poet, he was the boy who has plunged in grief at the loss of his ball. The poet, he didn't offer the boy money to buy another ball, because the poet felt that another ball could not console the boy, as it seemed the boy had had the ball for a long time, as I said. The poet also wanted to make the boy realize the epistemology of loss. So the poet would not intrude. The poet, he felt that he should not interfere in boy, because he was learning a very important valuable lesson of his life, how to cope with the loss. He didn't like to interfere in the life of boy. So that's why the poet could have offered a dime. Dime means a 10 cent. In America, dime means 10 cent. So he could have offered the boy 10 cent to buy another ball, or the poet could have given him or bought him another ball, but it is useless. Why? Because the poet knew very well that the new ball would not bring back those fond memories of his childhood days. So lots of fond memories were attached with the old ball, which the boy had lost. Now he senses his first responsibility in a world of possession. So after losing the ball, the boy, he realized, senses his first responsibility in a world of possession. So in this poem, the poet says that everyone is fond of possessing things. This world is a world of possession, means materialistic things. How the people are running behind materialistic things, that the whole world is a world of possession. People are very possessive about all their materialistic things, that how the people are running behind the materialistic things. So everyone is fond of possessing things, and the boy is also, before losing the ball, he was fond of possessing his ball. So when we love these things and lose them, we feel very sad, and we must learn that material things cannot be with us always. There will be times we have to lose them forever. We have to learn to bear losses, as they are part and parcel of our life. So the poet, after losing the ball, he realizes his first responsibility in a world of possession. That in this world of possession, belongingness. So how the people, those who possess different materialistic things like car, a toy, example, how they take care of those things. So the poet realized that his duty, his responsibility towards his materialistic things which he possesses. So the boy realized his duty towards his materialistic things. So the boy, he learns the lesson that whatever we possess, we should take care of it. So he senses, he realizes his first responsibility in the world of possession. The whole world, the people of the whole world are running behind materialistic things. They are fond of possessing things. People will take balls will be lost always. So here, by giving the example of ball, the poet John Berryman, he talks about that people will take balls, but balls means here in this world, in the world of possession, people are so fond of possessing materialistic things like gold, car, house, money. So people will take balls by giving the example, by taking the example of ball. The poet talks about that people will take material things, whatever they like, they will buy from the market and balls will be lost always. So, whatever we gain, whatever we buy, whatever we take, one day it is going to be lost. So, here we must learn that material things cannot be with us always. So, the poet wants the boy to learn the important lesson of his life that whatever material things which we have cannot be with us always. One day, those things will part away from us. So there will be time when we have to lose them forever. And that's why the poet wants the boy to learn to bear losses as they are part and parcel of our life. Gains and losses are the part and parcel of our life. So balls will be lost always, little boy. And no one buys a ball back. So the poet, he wants the boy to learn that the things which is lost for ever. So we can replace the thing which is lost by another thing, but we cannot bring back the things which we love and which we lose. The thing which is lost for ever. So no one buys a ball back. So here the poet talks about the boy, that the boy who has lost the ball, whose ball has gone into the water, he is not going to get that ball back because the ball which is lost, it is lost for ever. So here by giving the example of the ball, the poet, he talks about that the materialistic things, whatever we possess in the world of possession, whatever we possess, once it is lost for ever, we can replace another thing. Money is external. Here, money is external means money can buy another thing, money can replace another ball, but money cannot bring the fond memories which are attached with the ball which is lost. So here money is external means the poet, he wants to make the boy understand about his responsibility as the loss is immaterial. He can purchase another ball. The poet explains that the world is full of possession and money is an external item. So money is external. The grief is internal. The loss is internal. So money can buy another ball, but money cannot buy everything. Money cannot buy the thing which is lost, which is attached with us, with our memories. So the poet he talks about that money can replace the another ball, but money cannot bring the ball which is closely attached with the fond memories of the boy's childhood days. He is learning well behind his desperate eyes the epistemology of loss. So the boy who has lost his ball, he is learning behind his desperate eyes. Desperate means here hopeless. The boy is hopeless. So he is staring at the water of the harbor and he has lost his hope of getting the ball back. And after losing the ball, the poet he wants the people to let the boy learn the important lesson of his life, the epistemology, the knowledge, the nature of loss. Epistemology means the Greek word epistem means knowledge, and this word comes from a word meaning to understand, to know. Epistology means the study of the nature of knowledge itself. So here the poet wants the boy to learn the nature of loss. So the boy who has lost his ball, it is the first time in his life that he has lost something which is very close to his heart. And the poet wants the boy to learn the nature of loss. So the boy who is very much troubled at the loss of his ball, he experiences grief at the loss of his much loved possession. And so the boy, like a statue, he keeps staring at the ball with his desperate eyes. So the poet wants the boy to learn the nature of loss. He also wants the boy to learn how to stand up, knowing what every man must one day know. So the poet not only wants the boy to learn the nature of loss, but he also wants the boy to cope up, to stand up with the loss. So the poet wants the boy that he should learn that it is important for everyone to experience loss and to stand up after it in order to be strong and to get on with life. One needs to stay strong no matter how much it hurts inside. Staying strong is the only way to survive. Moreover, one needs to learn to accept and let go and not cling to something that they can never have. One should understand that the past is gone, it will never come back. Experiencing loss sometimes help us grow up and face hardship like loss. So the poet he wants the boy not only to learn the nature of loss, but also he wants the boy to stand up, knowing what every man must one day know. So, like the little boy, everyone must one day know that losses, gain and losses are part and parcel of life. And most know many days how to stand up. So the poet, as I said, the poet wants the boy to learn how to stand up after losing something. So in this way, the poet he has seen one boy playing with his ball, how his ball rolls away from him and falls into the water of the harbor. As the boy watches his ball disappear, the boy feels his childhood slip away from him. He feels himself growing up very fast as he learns that loss is a part of everyday life and life goes on despite it. The sight of the sad little boy pains the poet, but he knows the growing up is an unavoidable process. So, at last, the poet he felt pained by looking at the boy's grief, but at the same time, the poet also wants the boy to learn the epistemology, the nature, the knowledge of loss, and he also wanted him to learn how to cope up with the losing materialistic things. And not only the boy who has lost the ball, he should learn how to stand up after losing these materialistic things. But he also want that every man must one day know, and most know many days how to stand up. How to stand up means how to cope up, how to bear the loss of a near ones and dear ones. So just like the boy has lost his ball, one day he is also going to lose his near ones and dear ones. So he has to learn how to stand up, how to cope up with the loss. So I hope you have understood the poem.